Hey everyone, and welcome to 121 Trailer Talk. I am Peter, that is Connor, and this is a show where we watch a bunch of movie trailers from the last couple of weeks. We talk through them, we discuss did the movies look good or the trailers well done, and at the end of the show we'll pick our favourite of the batch. So this tends to be every 2 weeks, give or take.
Ish, yeah.
Ish, yeah, it kind of depends, where it fits in the schedule, how many trailers there'll be. Because sometimes you'll go a couple of weeks and there'll be not a lot of big trailers to talk about. Not that we only do big trailers, but you need a couple of headliners is kind of the thing. But yeah, that's what we're going to do. So we got an interesting batch to talk about this week. So first up, not what I care about the most by any means, but arguably the highest profile recently.
It is, yeah.
Is Frozen 2. So, I mean, you like the first Frozen?
I do. I think it's pretty good.
Alright, okay.
Yeah.
I can't really speak with any great certainty my feelings on it because I was dragged to see it and I fell asleep about 20 minutes in and woke up, I think, during the end credits.
Fair enough. How did you feel about it? Because then, interesting, you as basically an outsider.
Mm-hmm.
Me as a reasonable fan of the first one. How did you find it?
Well, the trailer it's going for a more of an epic adventure thing.
Yeah.
From what I remember about the first one, which seemed to be about the sibling drama.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. This seems to be more going on an adventure. It's got a very she's the first half of the trailer is basically just the main character.
Like a training montage almost.
Yeah, she's trying to run across the water and she keeps getting thrown back by the tidal waves because she's got
She's got across the ocean, not just across some lake or anything.
Yeah. She's got Iceman powers, right? So she's running in the water by just kind of freezing little platforms as she runs.
Yeah.
And she's getting to the big tidal waves, and then I say, well, it's not tidal waves, but big waves, and she's getting knocked back, and she keeps trying and getting a bit further and getting knocked back. And it's kind of this idea of facing this resistance. It's actually a really well done trailer, I think.
Yeah.
It makes me. I don't want to see it. I don't. I don't care about it.
Fair enough. I definitely want to see. I wanted to see it anyway, just because I tend to watch.
There's going to be singing. Is the thing.
Yeah, probably.
There's going to be singing, so nothing it's going to do is going to make me want to see it. But I will acknowledge that it's a well done trailer.
It's got a real good pace to it. Tone is interesting because it's it's got this epic strings going behind it, which is not what I think anyone would have associated with Frozen before this trailer.
Yeah, this time she's going to say "Let it go" and then cock a shotgun and go, "Hell no!"
I'd be so down for
that. Now she's Sarah Connor, so with ice powers.
Yeah.
So
I really like this trailer, and it's got me pretty excited for the movie. When I wasn't really, like I said, I'd have gone and seen it, but I'm like, okay, now I'm actually interested.
Well, Disney want to rule the world, and they have so many big releases coming this year between Marvel, Pixar, and Frozen's not even Pixar. Frozen's just Disney animated.
Do we have Pixar this year?
Toy Story 4.
Toy Story, yeah, of course. So what we got? Because we got
three
Captain
Marvel movies.
and Dumbo are in March.
Yeah, we got 3 Marvel movies. You've got Dumbo, Frozen,
Aladdin,
Toy Story 4 from Pixar, and then I'm sure there's another one or two big things I've got that I'm forgetting right now. But
probably
Star Wars. That's the other one.
It's Star Wars. Yeah. I thought you were talking about just the Disney Pixar stuff.
No. That's taking over the world. So Aladdin is the other notable one this week because we got a trailer for Aladdin.
I like how we didn't even mention Avengers in that list there.
I said 3 Marvel movies. I'd covered it.
Okay.
I'd covered it. It's technically 2 for Disney because one's Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Which is actually Sony, but
yeah,
splitting hairs. So Aladdin got another teaser. We had a teaser before that was basically just seeing a glimpse of Aladdin in the lamp in the cave, and that was it.
Yeah, this is. I think I'd still count this as a teaser trailer.
It's a second teaser, but there's a bit more in it. You get a glimpse of the magic carpet. You get a glimpse of a couple of other characters. Jafar's there. Most notably, though, at the end, you see the genie played by Will Smith.
Yeah.
Now, as someone who had no interest in this because I have no attachment to Aladdin, it's easy for me to be negative and cynical and make fun of how bad he looks, but I'm curious for you, as someone who probably did care about this movie to some extent.
more than you by default, but I
Yeah.
wouldn't say I cared about this movie.
Peter looks pretty shit, doesn't he?
He does look pretty shit. And we're not alone in thinking that.
No, the internet's been making fun of it. And I think the worst part is not even just that they've painted Will Smith blue, because that would be fine if it was done okay. It's CG. He's CG blue.
Why not just paint him blue? We have blue paint. Like, blue body paint's a thing. I've seen it done.
Besides, even if you're still going to do CG, like, there's this 10-year-old movie called Avatar where everyone was blue, and say what you want about Avatar, those effects look pretty good.
Yeah, I have many a complaint with Avatar, but the visuals is not really one of them.
10 years later, and Disney, they're probably the wealthy. I mean, I don't know if they're officially the most wealthy studio
I'm pretty confident
in Hollywood, but certainly they're earning more per year right now than any other studio. They can't afford better effects than this now. It could just be, it's an early trailer. It'll be much different by the movie. Then why release this teaser? I don't.
Yeah, it's because obviously they didn't show him in the last trailer, right?
Mm-hmm.
Intentionally, probably because it wasn't ready. I feel like someone's getting edgy, going, we just got to show something. We just got to put something out there.
Yeah, I think it's worse though when you put it out there and then everyone just starts making fun of it.
I agree. I agree.
It may not be worse because some people might go see it just out of like, oh, this is going to be hilarious attitude.
I don't think it's going to actually put anyone off seeing it who was going to see it anyway. Not really.
No, I don't think it's going to do that. But people who hadn't decided they want to see it yet and are on the fence, those people are probably turned away by this.
Probably, yeah. I will still see it out of curiosity because, I mean, these live action remakes have been, bloody hell, Lion King's this year.
Is that this year?
I'm pretty sure it is.
Oh, there you go. There's another one.
Jesus, another one. Bloody Disney. But no, I've been mostly positive on all, to varying degrees. Some have been better than others. Mm-hmm. None of them have been bad yet, though. Of the ones I've seen, and the only one I didn't see was Maleficent, which was a bit before the proper straight up remake started. But this one might be the first one that's not so hot. Oh no, that's not true because Dumbo's before it. It's fine.
Yeah, I mean, I have no interest in seeing Aladdin. This trailer did nothing for me anyway. I mean, it's not a terrible trailer up until the ending, but that ending is
the first like minute or so of it is just it's fine. It's a solid teaser trailer.
Yeah, they've got a new orchestral version of one of the songs from the first movie, and we see a couple more of the actors,
and then you get Blue.
And then you get, this horrible CG Will Smith, and it all goes to shit. So,
could be a decent movie overall, though. It could be a decent movie with some dodgy effects.
All right. So speaking of remakes, though, we have Child's Play. We have the new Child's Play, which it's a very complicated situation because MGM, I think it's MGM, have the rights to make a Child's Play remake. However, Don Mancini still has the rights to make more Chucky and Child's Play material.
This is one of those bizarre situations, isn't it?
Yeah.
You go, how did this happen?
So who's Don Mancini, you ask? Don Mancini is the creator and writer of Child's Play, and he has actually written all of the Chucky movies. He's done all 7 of them. He directed the last 3 of them, maybe even 4 of them. 3.
And is developing a TV show at the moment.
He's developing a TV show which does follow on from the movies. It's in continuity with those. It will then therefore have Brad Dourif, the voice of Chucky, back to voice Chucky. It'll have some of the actors back, and it is in development of Sci-Fi. It's a thing that's happening, but more importantly, it is continuing. And the last movie did have a post-credit kind of cliffhanger, like the movie before that did as well, and that led to the newer movie, and then this is leading to the TV show. This is all some master plan of this saga, this cinematic saga. That is Chucky, and to credit to him, it did dip in the middle a little bit in quality wise, but it actually climbed back up. Like he understood what didn't work and then rated the shit.
Which is an admirable trait, right? Okay, you made a mistake, but if you can recognize that and fix that going forward, I can respect that.
And not only that, it's one of the rare horror franchises that really embraces all of its continuity. Like the last couple that they did, that were 2 of the better ones. Like it brings back things from some of the earlier movies I never thought we'd see again. Like I was like
Yeah.
blown away with the.
I should watch them at some point.
You should. They're fun. They're mostly fun. I see the Chucky's, but
Well, what horror franchise of that length doesn't have at least one or two where you go, yeah.
why is it always the fifth one though? Halloween 5 shit. Friday the 13th 5, one of the shittiest out of that first 10. Nightmare on Elm Street 5, pretty shit. Number 5.
Probably because by 5 they're like, yeah, we don't have any ideas left. Just take this.
But in some cases, 4's really good. Like Halloween 4 is like one of the better sequels, and then
Yeah.
5 is shit. It's just funny to me. Anyway, so Child's Play remake though. So Child's Play remake has nothing to do with the original continuity, whereas the new TV show is a continuation of the original continuity. So that's very confusing. But we're getting this new Child's Play movie where it seems like that we've heard that they're altering Chucky a little bit himself to be more of a little robot doll as opposed to possessed.
I mean, it's probably both.
It's probably both. Honestly, though, this teaser trailer's not that bad. It's actually a decent enough little trailer.
Yeah, it's fine. It doesn't get me excited, as someone who hasn't really seen any of the movies, but it's fine. I get why they withheld showing Chucky, right? You see from behind in the shadows, but you don't see a proper look at him.
Yeah.
I understand why they're saving that for a full trailer closer to the time.
Yeah, and they're showing like hints of kills, and we see Aubrey Plaza who's playing the mother, which is so weird that she's playing like the mother of the kid now. Like,
yeah, I think my only critique of the trailer is they might show a few too many hints of kills. Like, there's like a montage where it cycles through a bunch of them. I'm like, this feels like quite a lot of the kills.
I won't remember any of those though by the time the movie comes out.
That's fair. Yeah,
they're too quick to remember, for the most part. So it's funny because Aubrey Plaza, I feel like it was like a year ago she was playing the college age she's not Ditzy, highly sarcastic character, like,
yeah.
I feel like it was like a year ago, and it's just weird. She's just playing.
What was the last time you remember seeing her in that role? Like,
in that role?
Yeah, in that kind. Because I remember she did that zombie one a couple of years ago, right?
Yeah.
Life After
Beth.
There we go.
Yeah, and then I mean, last year she was in that Instagram stalking one, or 2 years ago that was now.
Yeah.
That was maybe a little bit older, but she didn't feel like mum aged. It was still
kind of young 20s, sort of like in that area. Yeah.
20 somethings. Yeah.
It is weird.
But then you stop and think about it. It's been how many years since Parks and Rec ended? Like 4 or 5. And she was leaving high school at the start of that show. That lasted 7 years. I mean, it kind of adds up.
I'm not saying it's unrealistic.
Yeah,
it's just weird.
Yeah, and the kid's not that old. Like, I mean, she could have the kid only had to be born when she was like 22. It's not that. It's not like a absurd young pregnancy. But it's just. I'm not critiquing like it being there. I'm just saying it feels weird because I still think of Aubrey Plaza as being 25.
Yeah, and it's not even critiquing the casting because it's perfectly reasonable casting. It's just this is the first one that took that leap.
I think it's a combination. It's a combination of still thinking of her as being younger, even though she isn't actually any younger than maybe what the character's supposed to be. But it's also the type of character she normally plays is either very sarcastic, a little bit crazy, or she has this deadpan thing she does.
She's very good at the deadpan.
Yeah. This trail though, she sits down next to her son and he's opening his like Christmas present or something, and she's got this smile on her face. My son, he's happy with his present, and I'm like, this is not Aubrey Plaza. Who is this imposter? What?
Yeah. Do you know what I think it is making it weird for us? There was no transition period.
Yeah. It
was just she was the sarcastic young adult, and then bang, next film, right? She's the loving mother.
Yes. That's what's weird about it. Yeah. No, it looks okay. Like, it doesn't look bad. As much as I obviously am more excited for the TV show because it's in continuity, this might end up being like, I almost wished in this that Chucky doesn't talk. Like, I think having a quiet robot would actually be better, just because because I think the worst thing or the biggest challenge they've got is trying to match the persona of Chucky, because it's a very distinct voice, it's a very distinct character, and I feel like.
But do you lose something if Chucky hasn't got a personality?
Well, you do. It's a different movie then, essentially, at that point.
It is, and I feel like they're going to want that in there.
We'll see. I mean, it seems like they're treating it more of a slasher movie, which most of the Chucky movies aren't really that.
Yeah.
So, we'll see. I mean, it could end up being fun. But it is in a really weird, murky place. Next up, we get a trailer for Hobbs and Shaw, which is a spin-off to the 8-movie series Fast and the Furious.
Yeah. Well, Fast and Furious presents Hobbs and Shaw.
That's right. That's the full title. You're correct. Yes.
Yeah.
As if we're going to get more of these. Great fast.
Yes.
Like, they might actually end up doing more because these make a lot of money, but like it reminds me of X-Men Origins Wolverine, as if there was going to be more X-Men Origins, and there never was.
Yeah, they had plans to, but
Yeah.
So this isn't what I expected. Having not seen any of the Fast and Furious movies since like the second one, I tapped out pretty early.
Yes.
And never came back when it allegedly got fun. Why is Idris Elba a super soldier? When did that happen?
So here's the thing, right? I saw the first Fast and the Furious movie back when it came out. I hated it.
It wasn't good.
I saw a bit of the second one and didn't want to see any more of it. Never saw the third, never saw the fourth. I've actually never seen the fifth. I probably should go back and watch the fifth because people say that's when it got good, right? That's when it got fun.
Yeah.
It became this fun B movie kind of big budget thing. And the plots got ridiculous. It became about using their car skills to save the world. That's what it became about.
And as I recall, family.
And family. And that's when they added The Rock, and it's when it got really big and over the top. Because you go back to the original movie, and the plot of that film is that they're stealing DVD players off a truck. You watch Fast and the Furious 8, and The Rock's kicking a torpedo that's riding across ice.
As he says in this, it's like, I've saved the world 3 times already.
Yeah. So, the series has definitely changed. So, that said, though, from what I remember, I've only seen 6, 7, and 8 once each, right? I've not seen them more than once. Like, I had a decent enough time. I have no desire to really see them again. I mean, maybe one day. Maybe I'll get in the mood to binge them at some point for laughs, but...
Sure.
They've never done, like, super soldiers before. Like, because Idris Elba in this is basically the villain in a superhero movie.
He is, and like I said, I knew it had got over the top and actiony.
Yeah.
Like I've seen the trailers enough to know the tone, but I didn't realize we were a comic book movie.
That's essentially what it's generally a crossover. It's like the villain of a comic book movie, and then Rock and Jason Statham are doing like their buddy cop kind of action thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I chuckled a few times in the trailer. I can't lie.
Yeah, it does look rather fun. What the hell?
Jason Statham's been a dick. The Rock's trying to be the goody two shoes. They want to kill each other. It's a whole thing.
I like Idris Elba.
Yeah, Idris Elba's good.
He's chewing scenery. Don't get me wrong, but
hey,
I'm okay with that.
Idris Elba chewing scenery is fine by me. Do we not remember the stunning speech from Pacific Rim? Tonight, we are cancelling the apocalypse.
He is fantastic, isn't he?
It's so good.
He's a national treasure.
But yeah, so, I mean, I'm not excited for this, but it looks perfectly watchable. Not a theatre watch, but it looks perfectly, I'll put this on in the afternoon one day.
It's a perfect looking like Sunday afternoon movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, Hobbs and Shaw. Next up, we had Tolkien. This is a teaser trailer, it's only a minute long, for the biopic about J.R.R. Tolkien. And it's basically what I would think a biopic of this would look like.
I'm surprised how heavy it leans into the Lord of the Rings stuff. Yeah, obviously I expected that to be part of it, but I didn't expect it to be quite as literal in the imagery. Like when we have the stuff in like the horses looking like the Nazgul and stuff like that.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to, I don't like to say hallucinate, but he's going to envision things in war that'll then be in Lord of the Rings.
Which, I mean, is how it happened, right? It was inspired by what he saw at war.
Oh, sure, but what I mean is that he's going to envision it as like a fantasy thing in front of him.
Yeah.
So they're actually filming scenes that look from Lord of the Rings, and
yeah, which isn't what I expected from this movie. It makes it more interesting. Because that's a different approach to usual, right?
Joe, it's really hard. I mean, I don't really typically love biopics because they tend to be kind of dull. Admittedly, this could be one that doesn't have that effect because it does have this extra element to it. The thing is, though, it shouldn't matter that I don't care about what he created, right? It shouldn't matter that I don't give a shit about Lord of the Rings, but it kind of does. when he starts talking about this epic tale of a fantasy that no one's ever seen before, I'm just kind of sitting there going,
I get that.
like,
As someone who is a fan,
yeah.
It's not like, oh, I'm excited for this, right?
I think the thing is that it's treated with this reverence, and that's fine. I understand that, but as someone who doesn't like the thing that they're talking about, it's hard to actually take the reverence at face value and actually appreciate it in that sense.
Yeah, I get that. I appreciate they're taking a different angle. It's the same thing I said about the Elton John one, right? That's coming up. That it's doing something wacky with it, right? And it's different, and I appreciate that. It's the same here, where it's like it probably won't be just a standard dry biopic, right? It'll have something different going on for it. It might not succeed, it might not be good, but it's trying.
It kind of depends. Like, part of me thinks that they're filling the teaser full of those images, but I wonder how much of it there actually is in the.
Yeah, it's possible. It's possible because there's a lot of it where they lean not even they lean on just the imagery, not even like the physical literalizations of these things that he's imagining, but just the four of them walking down the street together being reminiscent of the four hobbits, stuff like that, where I can see that being very heavy throughout the whole movie. And I do wonder how much it will go into it.
One does not simply walk across no man's land.
If that's a line, I swear to God, I will lose my shit.
And then he has to turn to the camera and wink at the camera.
Yeah. It's a proper teaser trailer. So it felt like just at the end of last year we were going, the teaser trailer kind of feels like it's dead.
Given that it's out in May, it's actually kind of surprising that it's only a teaser trailer at this point.
Yeah, but I mean, we said that at the end of last year, and then all of a sudden it's like, here's actually quite a few proper teaser trailers, which I'm happy to see.
Yeah, let's just hope that the memory of Tolkien doesn't get the shaft. Speaking of shafts, the next film is Shaft.
It really is shafts plural. I don't know why this isn't called Shafts.
Joe, what's really weird to me about this is that it's a sequel to the Samuel L. Jackson one from like 2001, and yet it's just called Shaft. It's like Halloween from last year. They didn't call it so. They just called it Halloween, but it's actually a sequel to the original.
Why is this not Shafts?
Because they've got 3 shafts.
Exactly, like it's right. It's sometimes when they name a movie and you just want to punch whoever called it this because they missed the really obvious one.
Also, I question something because I didn't really think about this when the last one came out. But how much older is the original Shaft compared to Samuel L. Jackson? Because Samuel L. Jackson is 71, right?
Yeah.
So I can't imagine the other dude's actually that much older.
Probably not, but Samuel L. Jackson doesn't age. Everyone knows that.
Yeah, I didn't think about it in the last time because I just assumed that the old dude was a lot older. But like now I'm looking at this trailer and I'm thinking, well, this guy is maybe 10 years older.
Yeah,
some of that. I don't know.
Let's go and have a look at he was born in 1942. So you do the maths.
Oh God, I mean, what?
Okay. Yeah, for record, Sam Jackson was born in 48.
Yeah, that's easier. 6 years.
So, yeah, so there's 6.5 years between the pair of them.
Because they treat it as if there's a generation between them. Like,
yeah.
So it's just funny to me that's
What's funny though is you put them next to each other, and I believe it.
Yeah, that's just because Samuel Jackson looks 20 years younger than he actually is.
Doesn't he?
So, who is CGI in Captain Marvel? Just have him show up. If anything, put a grey beard on him in the present day segments.
Yeah.
So from what I remember of that movie, this feels way more of a comedy than that movie did. Not that there wasn't witty lines or Shaft being kind of cool and cheesy, but this seems more of a slapsticky thing where the young Shaft, the new Shaft, the son,
Shaft Junior.
Although
it's Shaft the Third, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know if the original Shaft is his dad though, so I don't think it is.
IMDb here, when I just looked at it, it has him credited as John Shaft the First, and Sam Jackson as John Shaft the Second.
Fair enough. Okay, maybe they are father son.
And then John Shaft the Junior. So it's the third. Shaft the Third. I will have it no other way.
Right. So a lot of this is that he's not actually this cool action dude, but he ends up trying to be like his dad, and he's not doing very well. He's kind of fumbling. He's hitting glass instead of going through it. He's being kind of that's the humor that we're playing with here.
Yeah.
It looks okay. I didn't like the 2001 one. I remember Christian Bale was the villain, and I think that's the first thing I ever saw Christian Bale in. It was funny because he's a complete dickhead in that movie. And then I saw him in all stuff, of course, not too long after that, and obviously, I actually kind of like Christian Bale. That's fine.
Yeah. No, I never saw it.
But yeah, I never saw the old TV show or whatever it was. I never, I have no attachment really to it. And I thought that movie that came out like 20 years ago was it's kind of, I don't know, dull and unpleasant. And admittedly, this is like vague memory. I saw this in like 2002, so grain of salt. Like, I don't really remember it that much.
Yeah, no, I get that.
But I don't remember enjoying it.
Fine. It could be alright. I still really like that 70s theme. I know, but I don't know. It's just fun.
It gives the trailer some form or some shape because it'll do that thing where one of them will go to swear and then the song will do the thing.
Yeah. Yeah. But I appreciate that they haven't tried to touch it up or modernize it. It's just like, no, let's just go in all its 70s glory.
Yeah, I'm sure there'll be a couple of remixes in the soundtrack. But...
Oh, I'm sure there will be, but at least they're still playing with the original version.
Yeah. But hey, that's Shaft. Next up, Yesterday. No idea what this was when I clicked on it, for the record. This is a bizarre movie. This is a movie in which an amateur singer-songwriter who's never made it big, he's never had any success.
Yeah.
He wakes up in an alternate reality where the Beatles never existed.
But yeah, basically there seems to be some sort of incident, and the lights go out and stuff, and he's knocked down, or like he hits his head
during this event. Yes.
Yeah.
And he wakes up and he's singing Yesterday in front of like his kind of friend / maybe girlfriend and some parents or whatever. And they're like, oh, that's a nice song. When did you write that? And he's like, you're joking, right? The Beatles. And they're like, what are you talking about? And he kind of confirms it and tries his best to like play other songs and So,
yeah. And he Googles it and it's like, nope, they don't exist.
Yes. So he becomes this famous singer-songwriter because he just uses Beatles songs.
Not gonna lie. Why wouldn't you?
Yeah. So it's an interesting idea for a plot. At one point, it seems like McCartney and Lennon show up to accuse him of still
potentially. We don't quite get to it, do we?
Yeah,
he's on a
talk show.
It's James Corden, isn't it?
Yeah, Corden's actually there. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's like, oh, we've got two people claiming they wrote it, and it's like, oh,
you see the shadows. You see the shadows of them. I think.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting plot idea. Obviously, the soundtrack's going to be good because it'll be all Beatles songs.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Ed Sheeran's in it, so I hate it.
And he tries to fix Hey Jude.
Yeah. I mean, I have a mild hatred of Ed Sheeran's music anyway. But I get called Ed Sheeran. I don't see it, but it's just a vague similarity in the hair, clearly, that I get heckled Ed Sheeran in the street. So I hate this prick now.
Hey, dude.
Yeah, see. Like you didn't want to punch him already. And then he's trying to fix the Beatles.
Yes. Well, that's the joke, right? Because the guy starts sitting there and he's like, you're trying to fix a Beatles song. What are you doing?
Yeah. I do like the premise, though. It's not like, it's something that you've kind of seen or heard before. It's one of those ideas that's kind of talked around, right? But I've never seen it on this scale of a movie, though.
I mean, it seems like maybe we said about Hobbs and Shaw. It seems like a Sunday afternoon movie to just put on and a bit of light watch that'll be fine and give you a couple of chuckles. It doesn't look like something. I'm not going to rush out to the theater and see this by any means.
Yeah, that's fair.
But it looks okay. It doesn't look bad.
Yeah, it does.
Hatred of Ed Sheeran and James Corden aside.
James Corden's a bit of a knob too.
I don't hate James Corden. I don't particularly like him, but I don't dislike him either.
It gets on my nerves.
Well,
But I do like Lily James, so
That'll take us on to The Hustle, which is basically Anne Hathaway did Ocean's 8, and then thought, I want to do more films like this. So now she's a con artist in a movie called The Hustle, where she's training Rebel Wilson to also be a hustler.
Because she is already a amateur con artist, shall we say?
Yes, but she just does it to get free food, because you get it. If you, I mean, I don't know if you noticed this, but Rebel Wilson is a fat person, and
She is, yeah.
every
That's
joke,
kind of the joke.
every joke that she's ever involved in seems to be about being fat. Now, I am making no judgments here. I am simply saying that I feel like most of the jokes that pop up with her tend to be, look, the fat person's saying this, or because the opening joke in this trailer is that she cons a guy into buying her dinner and then orders 3 slices of cake. That's the opening joke.
Yeah. I do actually like Rebel Wilson well enough, though.
Oh yeah, I don't dislike her.
You know, you say like, oh, it's just the one joke. She's got charm with it, though.
I'm just being really cynical because this is what the trailer opened on. Honestly, there's a couple of things in this trailer that did kind of get me. I genuinely laughed at the camouflage and the trash bags because she's wearing the black dress.
Yeah.
Because you don't see her. You legitimately don't see her. And then the guys walk back in the building, and then you just see one of the trash bags stand up, and it's her and this black...
I've got it playing now, as I do with all these trailers while we're talking, just in case it pops up. I'm like, oh yeah, that. And I'm waiting to see, because I watched these a couple of days ago, and I'm going to look and go, right, can I see her before she stands up? Because I don't remember exactly where she was.
You can rewatch, but the first time you don't see her.
Okay, because I definitely didn't the first time, no.
But she's wearing this like black leather dress, and she just stands up and goes, trashy dress, does it again.
Yeah.
So yeah, she's alright. Obviously, Anne Hathaway's pretty good, typically.
She's always good, yeah.
Yeah.
There was a few things I laughed at in this, though. But aside from that, like I laughed with her, pretending to be blind and really awkward and over the top with it.
I laughed at her throwing the butler the bag, and it just got off the cliff.
Staring. You can see it.
Yeah, that was funny. I kind of like, because Anne Hathaway's doing this really pompous like British accent, like most of the trailer. But,
yeah, grating. But
there is this moment where she's like, quote unquote, faking an American accent to sound dumb, and she's like, I like it because it's shiny, and it's like, I was like, okay, that was kind of funny.
Yeah.
I did also. She has this really this laugh at the end because Rebel Wilson shouts out, "Release the peasants," and someone says, "So she means pheasants," because she's got a shotgun. She's going to as if she's going to shoot a pheasant, and the butler starts running, and she shoots the butler, and there's this pause, and then Anne Hathaway gives it this ridiculous like.
There's a guy sat there next to her, and she's like, "Oh, don't worry, she's a terrible shot," and then she hits him, and then the laugh.
Do you know what? Like, I don't actually think this is going to be any good, but I have to admit there was at least a few things in the trailer that did make me chuckle.
Enough that I'm not against watching it.
Yes.
Again,
Sunday afternoon.
At the cinema. Sunday afternoon. Yeah.
Sunday afternoon film.
Yeah, between the three we've got here now, you got a really nice Sunday coming up.
Or 3 Sundays that I'll have something to watch.
You could do it like that, or you could just have one real good Sunday.
Oh, if you start right at noon and go all the way up to like 6?
Yeah. What's wrong with that? I don't know why I'm talking. I bloody work every Sunday. I'd never watch a movie on a Sunday afternoon.
But yeah, so Sunday afternoon film. I mean, like I say, if you like these 2 actresses, I think you'll probably find some chuckles to be had in here. If you don't like either of these actresses, you're probably just going to find it grating.
Yeah.
That's just going off the trailer. But yeah, it's okay. I mean, it does some of those tropes that every comedy trailer has to do that thing where the music pauses for the joke, for the punchline.
Yeah.
And then comes back in. And they do it so often now that it feels like a cliche to do it now. And it bugs
does.
me.
It's one of those things that I hate in trailers, but it doesn't happen in the actual movie. Because there's never the music playing before it, or if there is, it doesn't stop. Whatever's going on in the background is fine. It's just because they've got this pace going for the trailer, and it's like, hang on, pay attention. We want you to hear this punchline. That it stops and it's awkward.
Yeah, that's The Hustle. It looks actually this is a remake of an old movie actually.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's not called The Hustle, the original movie though, so I can't remember what it is.
Okay.
Give it a quick Google. The Hustle is a remake of. Got my little ginger monkey doing some research.
Dirty Rotten Scoundrels.
There you go. That's the one.
Which had Michael Caine in it.
There you go. Yeah. So that's The Hustle. That'll take us on to Teen Spirit. First complaint: if you're going to call your movie Teen Spirit, I expect Smells Like Teen Spirit to play by the end of the trailer.
Especially when it's music related.
Yes.
I was waiting all trailer for it.
This is Ellie Fanning, and she's sort of a typical young woman from England who does a music competition called Teen Spirit, kind of your X Factor, America's Got Talent kind of
younger generation.
And she's pretty good apparently, and the trailer does have a style. I do think the trailer is actually quite well edited, and the music is quite impressive. I don't know if I have an interest in watching the movie ever, admittedly.
I think I do, based on all the names that come up at the end as to who's involved with all the music. I'm like, yeah, there's enough there that gets me interested.
Yeah, because she's done a lot of singing, but it's a lot of music by other people, so there's a big list of artists at the end.
Yeah. Robin, Ellie Goulding, Annie Lennox, Sigrid, Carly Rae Jepsen, Ariana Grande, Katy Perry. Yeah, there's all sorts in there. I thought, this is, but there's a mixture as well, of styles that it's interesting.
I feel like the movie itself is going to be a pretty typical tournament movie, right?
Yeah, probably.
That's what it looks like it's going to be. But the trailer is well edited though, and has a bit of a beat to it. Like I say though, you're calling your movie Teen Spirit. Like, I swear, if her winning song at the end of the movie is not Smelling Like Teen Spirit, then why did they call it this?
I'm willing to put money on it not having it in it, based on it not featuring music by Nirvana on that end screen.
That's fair. However, the phrase Teen Spirit conjures one thought.
Yeah, no, it does. Yeah.
Load up on guns, bring your friends. It conjures that one song. So
it really does.
It feels weird to call it this, if there's not going to be some Smell Like Teen Spirit in there, but whatever.
But I thought the trailer had enough style. I like Fanning quite a lot. I think she's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm down for watching this. This is out in April, I think it said at the end. Yeah.
So she's kind of naive, and you get the agent person trying to talk her into an early contract, and all these things. So it looks like a pretty, standard movie, really. But the trailer's well put together. So
yeah, it looks like it might have some good direction.
So that takes us on to Fast Color, which is kind of an odd movie actually. Like this is something that I some trailers I put on, and like within seconds I know roughly what sort of trailer it's going to be. I put this on and I'm like, okay, what is this? And I had to really kind of pay attention and really think about what I was watching.
Yeah, I will say this is the first one of the bunch that I don't outright just remember exactly what it is without going through and refreshing myself now.
This is Gugu Mbatha Raw.
Yep.
And she's a woman with a superpower, and she gets introduced to her daughter that she doesn't really seem to know very well, who also has a power, an extension of her power, but is a little bit different. But the trailer has a lot of style, has a really, really specific tone to it. I would almost describe it as Brit Marling-esque. And Brit Marling, if you don't know who that is, that's the OA, Another Earth, that kind of tone. This kind of heady science fiction, but without the hard science kind of thing.
Yeah.
Philosophical sci-fi, I'll call it. And it seems to be that people are after her because whatever her power is, she can kind of connect with the life force of the Earth, which they call the color of the Earth, the colors. Her and her daughter can do this. And that's basically as far as I can get, to be honest, in terms of describing what the movie's about. She seems to be bonding with her daughter, is definitely part of it, and it seems to be people are after them because they can do this thing, because they think they're dangerous.
Do you know what the tone reminded me of quite a bit? Midnight Special.
Oh, I can see that, yeah. Bit of Midnight Special in there.
Yeah.
Midnight Special meets the OA.
Yeah. Which is enough to pique my interest.
I like this trailer, actually. I like the tone. I thought it visually had a distinct style where it was like... No, it looks intentionally kind of dry, I suppose is the word. But in a sense that when some of the magical stuff with the colours starts happening, it's like it pops, yeah. Or even just like a simple part. At one point, you see the daughter with her mind pick up some glass.
Yeah, I will say there's a couple of points where the effects look a bit ropey.
It's a lower budget movie for sure.
There is. There's a point where everything starts shaking and it looks a bit on the cheaper side.
I'm okay with that though if the ideas carry it. And
no, me too. Me too.
I like Mbatha Raw. She's a good actress.
Oh, she's really good. Yeah.
I like the tone. This is speaking to me. As much as there's been a lot of decent trailers this week, this was one that spoke to me more as a concept, where I'm like, oh, I think this is more my take. Like, I highly doubt this will be playing locally in my theater. But if it was, I'd probably go see it.
Yeah, yeah. Although that said, it looks like the sort of one that might
Be on
end up
VOD.
with a
Yeah,
VOD release. Yeah,
it does look like that. But it's on my radar.
yeah. Which is not necessarily a bad thing anymore, because some quite good movies go to VOD.
Oh yeah, sure. I'm pretty sure. Like, I think 2016 was the first year where I looked at my top 10 and realized like half of them are VOD movies, and I was like, oh shit.
Yeah,
Weird.
yeah. It happens now, doesn't it?
Yeah. So that was Fast Color, which leads us on to the final trailer of the week, which is Ma. That's just
Are
M-A.
you skipping over that other one, or are you decided you don't want to talk about it anymore?
What other one?
A Vigilante.
Oh, okay, that was an accident. That was before Fast Color on my list.
It was. But sometimes you move the order around from what you give me.
I just my eye jumped over. No, let's talk about that first. Talk about a Vigilante first. Save Ma for last. A Vigilante then. This is Olivia Wilde.
Yep.
And talk about trailers that had a good style to it, because this she's hitting a punching bag, right? We start off in this close up of her face, and she's just punching a punching bag, and it stays in this shot for a while. It's just her. It's just this rhythm of the punching bag,
and that rhythm goes through about half the trailer, which
it comes back though, because the punching rhythm comes back.
Yeah.
You hear it again towards the end.
it's the one thing that really annoyed me about this trailer is because the whole it's building. It's got this pace, this rhythm. There's all these layers adding on to this punching, right? And it stops, and it's like, okay, I get it. You want it to stop dead, and then it builds up again, and then that stops, and then then the punching thing comes back in. I'm like, right, okay, this, you lost me.
I would disagree with that. I think it works for me because when the punching comes back in, it's kind of like a clock ticking where you get so wrapped up in the emotion of what's happening as it starts to reveal like kind of what's, because it's a very teaser trailer kind of trailer, very abstract, doesn't tell you a whole lot of stuff. She does seem to be a vigilante. She seems to specialize in domestic abuse, probably because she herself was a victim of domestic abuse.
Yeah,
is the impression I get. You see her wearing different wigs, trying different disguises, that kind of stuff. And the punching, because it returns to the shot at the end as well. To me, it was like okay, you lost yourself in the moment for a minute, and then you come back to. It's kind of like
do you know what? I'll tell you what my problem is, because I've got it on again here.
Yes.
The bit in the middle that I'm saying, it stops and goes away. There is still punch. It's a different punching though. It's a different rhythm that it's doing. So you have these three distinct sections, and it feels like the flow doesn't quite connect for me because it's doing these different things over this course of a minute and a half.
I think for me it works though, because it's like a song. It goes back to the chorus at the end, or it goes back to the verse, if you want to look at it that way.
Fair enough. Yeah.
For me, it returning to the sound effect from the first half of the trailer kind of brought it home. It was like it came full circle, I guess, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, fair enough. I think it stops too much between segments for me, that it loses its momentum a little bit.
Okay.
But I like what I'm seeing though, and I like what they're going for.
Yeah, I like the trailer a lot, actually. I actually think this looks quite good.
Yeah.
It looks
does look pretty good.
Looks like a gritty little thriller with Olivia Wilde. Probably a good character piece.
Yeah, I would assume so.
So no, I'm actually on board for this. So yeah, Fast Color and Vigilante are probably two of the more interesting, smaller films.
Yeah,
this
definitely.
Week. Which does take us on to the final trailer of the week, which is Ma. This is not Olivia Wilde again.
Octavia Spencer.
Octavia Spencer, yes. It's because of the old names, very similar.
It is, yeah.
Starting names. But yeah, so this is a horror movie where she is asked by some teenagers to buy them booze, and then after doing so, a little reluctantly, she invites them back to her place. She's got like a basement
yeah,
that they can use to party should they wish. Which, I'll be honest, I'm already getting like red flags here. Like, seriously, kids, come on.
Yeah.
But
yeah, this is weird.
But they go, and everything goes fine. They get drunk and whatever else in the basement, and it seems to become a recurring thing. But they start going back there. That's
and
their
more
spot.
and more of their people from the school.
Yeah, their
I
peers.
assume.
Yes.
Yeah, start going.
Yeah, and okay, but then it starts to get weird, where she starts to get their phone number, or starts to invade their privacy. Eventually, she shows up at one of their houses. Seems to care, and she's got a rule where they can't go upstairs. They're not allowed to see what's upstairs. I assume that means there's an entrance that gets to the basement from outside.
There's probably an outside.
Yeah. So, and it ultimately becomes like, no, she's crazy and she's obsessed with these kids and is probably going to kill them all.
Yeah, probably.
It's kind of the kind of friend that becomes a stalker. It's an interesting trailer. Like I wasn't. I had no idea this movie existed before this trailer hit. I was just like, oh, what's this?
Yeah, I think it's interesting to get, especially get someone like Octavia Spencer involved.
Hmm.
I will say there was points in this trailer where it lost me, and it just made me laugh at like the stupidity of it.
I get that. I will say this. 'Cause obviously, like I tend to see most horror movies for screams after midnight.
Yeah,
And this is one that we'll definitely do. We try a lot of small films as well, but this one is mainstream.
yeah. This has actually got a couple of big names in it. 'Cause you got Luke Evans in there as well.
So mainstream means that it definitely is going to get done. I'm not looking forward to it. Like I wouldn't say that I think it's going to be good per se, but it looks interesting enough, and if not good, at least kind of hilarious in what it's doing. That it should be at least an entertaining time.
Yeah, I get that.
I hope so anyway. So
I think what's the most interesting thing for me about it is this tells me horror's back. Not, obviously we've been having like it, and stuff like that as he was a huge hit, right? But there's a lot of the bigger ones in the last couple of years have had brand recognition already. This one doesn't. And when I say big ones, I mean with mainstream big stars in it that most people will recognize. I think this is interesting to me that this is just it's an original idea as far as I know anyway.
So just to be clear, you're not counting Toni Collette in Hereditary.
Maybe
I don't think Toni Collette and Octavia Spencer are like miles apart in terms of fame.
I think Octavia Spencer's a bit bigger, but then this has got Luke Evans in there as well.
Sure.
So I'm thinking like, okay, this is two people. Getting one is something that you see a lot, right? You get one person to do a bit, but this has got two people who a lot of people will recognize in there. So I think it's an extra level above Hereditary.
As someone who sees a lot more horror movies than you do,
yeah,
horror's been back for years. The only difference here is that maybe the mainstream being interested in doing it is there.
That's what I meant by back. Not that, oh yeah, there hasn't been good horror movies. Of course there has. I meant it's back in a public mainstream way. For the big studios who are all of a sudden going, hey, we want in on this again.
Okay, this feels like a weirdly late revelation to me. I feel like there's been a good couple of heavy years. There's been really big horror movies for the last like 2 years, and I don't just mean in horror circles. I'm talking Get Out. I'm talking Hereditary. I'm talking.
No, there has. This is the first one for me though, where it's like.
And those aren't names. Those aren't part of franchises like Halloween was.
No, they're not.
Or based on a book like it with Stephen King's name attached to it.
Yeah, I think. Do you know what I think the difference for those and this is, to me at least, is those felt like no. Hear me out here.
Okay.
Those felt like very clearly this is someone's vision, right? The ones that you're talking about there, like Get Out, for example, right? It's like no, that's someone's vision.
So to understand where you're going with this, right? I want to jump out here. So what you're going to tell me here is that you're championing the fact that now Hollywood is trying to churn out more horror movies.
I didn't say it was a good thing. I didn't champion it. I merely noted upon it. I said it was interesting to me that they finally cottoned on and gone, hang on, we want a slice of this again. And this is the one that makes me go, right, okay. I don't know. Maybe this is just me.
I think it's just. I mean,
this is the first one where I felt like it mostly feels like a generic horror movie. It doesn't look bad, right? But it looks pretty standard.
Most of the studios have been making generic horror movies every year for years.
They have. But this is the first one where I feel like in a while where there's names attached to it.
That's the only notable thing about this. And if I stopped and thought about it, I'm sure I could think of other ones with names in it.
You probably could. But it's the names that make the difference because. Yeah, like I say, they can make these generic horror movies for years. They churn them out and go because they're such a low budget that the bare minimum makes them successful, right? It's why horror has never died, even when Hollywood has decided that it's not in favor at the moment. But this here now, when they're going right, okay, we're actually going to spend more on getting a few recognizable names to try and push it to a wider audience, which is undoubtedly why they do this. This is the film for me that's gone. Okay, they're trying to do that again. That's not necessarily means that there'll be better films. It was just a something that I noticed. God, you were a dick about that.
You feel so strongly about this, and I'm just like, I just.
I do.
Because me and Tim have been saying this, like, when Get Out made a lot of money, I was like, oh, okay, right,
Yeah.
all of a sudden, more horror projects going to be greenlit, and then when It made it, I was like, okay, look at all the Stephen King projects getting
Oh yeah.
greenlit. Like, we've been it's just funny to me that you've never spoke to me about this, and then this one trailer comes out now, and you're like, oh, horror's back in a big way.
No, I've agreed
horror all the
with you
time,
on,
everywhere.
we have spoke about those instances in the past, I'm sure, and I've agreed with you. This is and we've got you said, oh, they're going to greenlight them, they're coming. This is the first one where I feel okay, they're actually coming out now. That's the difference. God's sake.
On the last goddamn trailer, we're ready to wrap up, and you hit me with this.
Well, that's why I did it, because it's the last one. There's no more to go. It's fine.
You hit me with this wild.
It's not that wild. There is a very consistent. Our viewers will agree with me. Confident. Or they'll just IMDb a bunch of examples that prove me wrong.
You I feel like you've just been oblivious to.
No, of course I haven't.
The tide, and then all of a sudden you've been hit with the water and went.
No. You're misconstrued. Like I said, this isn't an instant revelation I've had. I'm not going, oh, I've just decided that it's back. I'm saying that, this has been coming. Like, when those movies made money, it's like, yeah, they're going to greenlight more. This is the one where it's like, oh, they're happening now. They're coming out.
Yeah, but you said this is the thing that told me horror is back. So to go back to my tidal wave analogy here, me and Tim saw the water rising and went, we better get off the beach because we're going to die. And then you've stood there on the beach, get hit by the water, and said, as you're dying, oh, the tidal wave was here.
Look, it's back was not maybe the best choice of words. But...
Do you know what I'm going to do in this analogy? I'm going to get Ed Sheeran to perform at your funeral.
Don't you bloody dare. This is too far. I can tolerate you killing me off in these analogies. That's fine.
And then on your tombstone, I'm going to have them engrave, Ash Tyler is the best Star Trek character.
Oh.
In quotations.
You will have no control over my tombstone.
It won't cost that much to get the one that's there taken away and put in my custom one.
You will have no control. I will get a restraining order filed against my grave. I don't know if you can do that, but I will. But my point, to go back to defending myself so I don't look like a crazy idiot, like you have portrayed me to be, isn't the realization that, oh, it's happening, it's popular again. It's, oh, the popular ones are actually happening now. Sometimes I want to stab you. You made me look like a ranting lunatic, and everything I said was perfectly founded in logic.
Watch the trailer for Horror's back, baby! Horror's back! Not last year when Halloween came out and broke every record Halloween movie had ever done before.
But it's Halloween. That was my bloody point.
Yeah, but they broke all the records. No other Halloween movie made it close to what this
it's called inflation.
Not even with inflation. Not even inflation. Compared to Rob Zombie's Halloween, it made like triple or something like that. I don't know. We've not tripled inflation in the last 10 years.
I don't know. We might have done. The economy's a shambles.
Not Halloween. Not it making $700 million.
Not Stephen King.
Get Out winning an Oscar.
Yeah, okay. That one was good. Maybe that one. And I don't know why when you were doing horrors, you were making me sound excited. I'm not excited by this. It was a statement.
Horror's back. The studios are going to try and churn out more horror movies again.
Again, you missed the point. It's not they're trying to churn out more horror movies. This is where the churning is starting. Not starting the production schedule. Not they're going to be doing these. No, this is it. They're happening now. This is the first one where I feel like okay, this is the studios getting involved.
Annabelle 4. Do you want some more?
Come on. Been over that.
Killer scissors from the deep abyss of outer space.
But if they're not scissor men, I don't care. You made me look like a ranting lunatic.
Octavia Spencer's in a horror movie. Horror movies are back. They're back, telling you. Let me tell you, horror movies back. The genre's not dead anymore.
Oh, you have completely twisted everything I said.
Luke Evans is in a horror movie. The genre's been legitimized.
Oh, you're making it sound like I'm saying this is a good thing. That this is what's saving horror. I'm not.
Octavia and Luke are saving horror. Connor Ryan, 2019.
Now you are literally just putting words in my mouth.
I'm pretty sure I've made at least 5 t-shirts in the last 10 minutes.
You probably have.
Okay.
Oh
Alright.
my god.
That was the trailers.
Oh, this is what happens when we get rambly at the end of things.
That was the trailers, which leads us to pick our favourite.
Oh yeah, we still gotta do that.
Our favourite trailer of the week. So, what is your favourite out of those 12? I think that was. Obviously, it has to be the saviour of horror movies.
Best trailer? It might be Frozen 2. I think it's a really well done trailer. Yeah.
Hollywood told us, let the horror genre go. Let it go. But Octavia and Luke...
How many times have you said her name wrong now?
Octavia and Luke said, no, we will not let it go. No, sorry. We're going to save the horror genre.
Pick your bloody favourite.
Probably Fast Color.
Okay.
In terms of a movie, at least, it's the most interesting one, I think. I think it's the one that appeals to me the most. I think Vigilante had a good trailer. I think there was a lot of good, well put together trailers this week. You know, I thought Frozen 2 had a good trailer. I thought Yesterday had a good trailer. The Hustle had a good trailer. Teen Spirit had a good trailer. There's a lot of well put together trailers this week. There was very few trailers this week that I went, that left me confused or didn't explain what it was. Even though Fast Color is still a bit of a mystery, it gave me enough that I'm like, I get the mystery.
Yeah. It's not like sometimes when we do this, there are trailers that are downright awful.
Yes.
There's nothing like that here.
Yes. So that's been trailer talk. You can let us know what you think of these trailers. Obviously, they're all linked in the description. You can let us know what you think. You can get us on patreon.com/MailFuzzTV if you want to support the show and the channel, everything we do here. You get some stuff early, you get some bonus exclusive stuff. You can go check out that. Get us on Twitter at mailed_fuzz. But that is us. So thank you once again for watching or listening. And years from now, like decades from now, when you're in the trivia game, you're doing your team trivia games at the pub, and there's the trivia game, and the question comes up, in the year of our Lord, 2019, which dynamic duo saved the horror genre from the clutches of defeat? You're going to know the answer. It was Luke Wilson. Oh, no, Evans. It was Luke Evans. It was Luke Evans. That's a different look. It was Luke Evans and Octavia Spencer. They saved the horror genre from the clutches of death.
Oh my god.
We'll see you next time, guys. Goodbye.
You're a dick.